Yeah. So we can be friends. We don't always have to just be mother and son, which is better for me because there's a power difference there, you know? As friends, we can be equals. And always, not always, but in general, authority has always shit on me. At the very least, shit on me, if not regularly hurt me. So I'm like, oh, let's not do that.
Why don't you start off from the beginning? I always ask people to start from the beginning. So tell me about where you grew up, about your parents, just your childhood experience in general.
How short does that need to be? Because that's a really long story.
You can go as much as in detail as you want. If you feel like that's like important to your story.
It's very important.
Then go for it.
My mom and my dad met at a Bible college. They both wanted to be, my mom wanted to be a missionary, and my dad wanted to be a pastor. So they met in Bible college. Mom was pregnant. Actually, she had been in a relationship with her boyfriend in high school. And they both got kicked out of that school because they called my mom a whore and told her that no, like she was not the kind of person that God wanted. Both of them had grown up in a very, very, very abusive homes. My mom's parents, they tried to kill each other, at least a couple times. They were pretty emotionally and my mom's mom was emotionally and verbally abusive to her. So she carried all that trauma with her. Like she basically was told to feel that she wasn't important. Like she had dyslexia. She has dyslexia. So they would, and she was really energetic as a kid. And, she was curious. She wanted to learn. So the teachers didn't know how to deal with her. So they would literally tie her to a chair and, like tape her mouth up and say, you need to shut up. So it wasn't just at home, the abuse. And then my dad, his father was physically abusive. Like he would throw my uncle against the wall. And like he was also, my grandpa was, unfaithful to his wife and would just deny the crap out of it. Like, oh, we have a great marriage. So both my parents were coming from abusive homes, and my father was physically abusive to my mother and also emotionally abusive and, totally unfaithful. So he's doing all this stuff, like abusing her while he was going to Bible college, but then also we would go to church regularly. So we'd go to church on Sundays and act like the perfect family. And then mom would say, this isn't okay. Like she would try to tell the people at church, but they wouldn't believe her. They were like, oh no, he's a great guy. He would never do stuff like that. So this theme of living a double life just totally runs not only through my life, but my parents' lives too. So got kicked out of Bible school. My mom had my older brother. His name's David. So it was rough. We moved around a lot because Dad, first he had lots of jobs, and he was like one time he brought this prostitute to our house, and Mom couldn't deal with it anymore. So she emotionally, she had a lot of bitterness towards my dad. So she couldn't handle it anymore. She just left me at the house. So it's me and this prostitute, and Dad left her there. Like Mom took my brother because in a lot of ways I'm personality-wise pretty similar to my father.
Interesting.
So it's like when I was a kid, and even still now, my mom and I spoke very different languages just because she and my older brother are very similar. So I consistently felt like a freak in my house. So when I was young, that's part of the reason she left. She couldn't deal with me being like my dad and bringing prostitutes to the house. Yeah. But then she came back. She's like, okay. So the reason I mentioned that story is somebody from church had come over to the trailer, and they're like, who are you? To this prostitute lady. So it's only me and the prostitute lady there. Like, why is Marcus here? Where's his mother? Where's his dad? So at that point, somebody from church finally said, oh, she's not lying. Yeah, to the abuse, So we were moving around a lot in Tennessee and Georgia. And then he joined the Air Force, Dad did. So we moved to Texas because he had to go for training. He was still being emotionally and verbally abusive, still living the double life. Nobody was believing Mom when she would tell people, hey, this guy's abusive, this guy's sleeping around, this guy's not as nice as he looks. So she got pregnant again, this time with my father's child besides me. She was maybe like 6 or 7 months along. And she had some trouble. She started bleeding. So Dad's like, I'm going to leave this weekend, and I know that you'll be dead by the end of the weekend. So she's bleeding, and she thought she was going to die too. So the baby died, and me too. Had a name and everything, Joseph. So Mom took us to the neighbor's house, me and my older brother, and she said, I'm going to go home because I know that I'm going to die this weekend, so please take care of my children. So she didn't die, but she had lots of complications, so she can't have children anymore. So amazingly, that wasn't the thing that made her divorce him again, because they had gotten divorced once. And she, because of her beliefs, and she even acknowledges now those are messed up, that she felt really guilty and responsible to stay married to this man, because she felt like it was her responsibility to God to be a good wife and to take care of her children, and that's what she needed to do. So in light of all of that, she still married him again. That wasn't the thing that finally, the death of my brother wasn't the thing that finally broke her decision. It was one day my older brother was maybe in the kitchen or something. He got really pissed off, so he punched her. She's like, nope, we're not having this. I don't want my sons to grow up and be like this man, so we need to get out of here. So we moved from Texas. She's poor. We had to get on welfare, and she was working as a chef. My mom is an amazing, creative woman. My dad's really smart too, but his intelligence is more technological. Okay. So she could always get by. She's super smart, so she could find jobs. So we moved to Wisconsin from Texas. For some context, Mom says by the time we were 7, we moved about 40 times. So after they got divorced for the second time, we moved it around because she was worried that my dad was going to hurt us. So for example, he would call us maybe once a month, and we were not allowed to tell him where we lived. So one time, I'm just a kid, I didn't know any better. One time I made the mistake and I told him, and the very next day we had to move. Because that's how serious it was.
She was living in fear.
For real. Yeah. We moved to Wisconsin because Mom's sister and her husband, and they had a kid at that time. Anyways, we moved there because her sister was in Illinois. So I think it was the year we moved to Wisconsin. My cousin came to live with us. So he molested me for a period of about a year. He was 12. I was 6. And then I don't know if that's people always say, oh, what caused you to be gay? Even my mom, when she was younger, she asked me this question. So I can't really give you any idea about that because I don't remember my sexuality before that. Mm-hmm. But I definitely know that at 6, I definitely started being attracted to my teacher, my brother's teacher, actually. He was hot. So I would go to church and hear about how God loves me and then God doesn't love faggots, stuff like that. Not from the preacher, sometimes actually. But the first time I was called a faggot was actually from a church camp, at a church camp. So there's that too. Moved around some more. A different guy, age 10, a guy from our church who was our landlord. He molested me. And I told my older brother about it because my older brother and I, when we were younger, we were very close because, we were fighting together to stay alive and to be happy and to get along, just, brothers having fun. Yeah. So I told my brother about my landlord molesting me. I didn't tell him about my cousin. So we together told my mom because my landlord had actually molested my brother too. So Mom took us to our preacher at the time, and basically what happened was the preacher said, okay, well, I'll tell him to tell you sorry. And that was it. She didn't call the cops. The pastor didn't do anything. Nothing happened. The guy apologized. So I was definitely still very much gay. I didn't know how to deal with that. So there still weren't a lot of single mothers, and they were still shamed. So we had the single mother thing, we had the class thing, and we were moving around, so we had to make friends every time. Sometimes depending on what day it is. I'm extremely thankful that we moved around a lot because it definitely made me have to form friends like this because, I could be gone the next week. And being gay, having to learn how to be at least two different people at all times. Like even in my own home. Mom has always done an amazing job at she's emphasized that we should be ourselves, that we should be proud of who we are, that we're talented. God gave us gifts and all. He made us who we are specifically for a reason.
Yeah,
but then I
ask you, was she accepting?
She was not accepting of my gayness. So I didn't know how to deal with that. I was like, I got to fight out of my house and I got to fight in my house too. But it wasn't just about sexuality. It was about my personality, myself. Like my mom and my brother, she still doesn't admit this, but he is her favorite. He has always been her favorite. And I know this. So it's like you got levels and levels of rejection, not only from my mother, but from my dad. I didn't know all this stuff about him that I know now when I was a kid. So I was, even as stupid, a lot of times when parents get divorced, one child thinks it's because of their fault. So for the longest time, I thought my dad was rejecting me. And then I was always worried, okay, how am I going to be myself? How am I going to acknowledge that I'm gay? Because he's for sure going to reject me then. Mom was going to nursing school. She finished nursing school because we had to eat. So during nursing school, sometimes she wouldn't eat because we had to eat, So she worked her ass off. Sometimes she had 2-3 jobs. She's an amazing woman. But she had her humanity, She was extremely, extremely critical. I felt like I could never do enough for her to love me. And I felt like I could never do enough to make God love me either. Like, I'm a faggot. God's not going to love people like me. My mom's not going to love me. The world's not going to love me. What am I going to do? One time my dad had called me. I still didn't know lots of the stuff that he was doing when I was a child. So I felt like an outsider in my house. So I said, Dad, can I please come live with you? Right? Maybe he asked me. But anyways, ended up going to live with my dad. My dad has been married at least 9 times. He had 2 more children, a daughter and a son. So those are my younger sister and brother. Just to give you an example that my mom's not crazy, that woman, my sister and brother's mother, she also tried to kill herself a couple times, just because he was abusive to her. He was still unfaithful, like sleeping around on her. So it wasn't just my mom. I don't know at what point it switched because he stopped abusing his wives and then he started being the one being abused. He would start dating women who were just horrible verbally. And one lady he married, she was verbally and physically abusive to my brother and son, and Dad wouldn't defend them. I started getting migraines, and I started cutting myself and burning myself because it felt better than the emotional pain. So I had to go to therapy. Wasn't very successful. Mom came down from Georgia and got me out of school to Florida. I don't know how. I think it was like a foreshadowing, but I knew something was going to happen that day. So I get this call on the intercom, Jeremy Weekly, please come to the front desk. I was like, oh, I think my mom's here. As I'm leaving my room with my box of my stuff, Dad just looks at me, apologizes. He said, I'm sorry for fucking up your life. That's it. I was like, all right, bye. So I moved back to Georgia, started writing poetry on my own because I needed some outlet. I was like, I'm going to kill myself if I don't do something, literally. I knew I wanted to get a PhD. Lots of people were like, oh, you're not going to get a PhD. Look at your grades, dude. I was like, inside, I'm thinking, F you, man. I know what I'm capable of. I can do this. I'm going to do this. And I knew I wanted to go to China. I knew that I wanted to make movies. So I have achieved 2 of those dreams so far. So that's why I'm moving away from teaching in China, is because now I want to do this 3rd dream, make movies. So when I was in high school in Wisconsin, I started looking at photography from Vietnam veterans, combat veterans, and I was also reading poetry. There's this amazing anthology called Unaccustomed Mercy. So it piqued my interest in poetry, it piqued my interest in photography. So then when I was getting my master's, I was like, I want to get a degree in photography. I didn't do it, but I was basically doing it because every week I would go to the library. University libraries are amazing, usually. So at the University of Southern Mississippi, the library is amazing. They have great photography section. So I would use that time to teach myself about photography because I was working as a photojournalist and then studying all these amazing photographers. And I was giving myself assignments like, hey, I'm going to go out and shoot 24 hours in our city, or hey, I'm going to go something.
Good for you.
Yeah. So self-directed learning. Yeah. So that's what I did all during my master's. I basically got 2 degrees, even though I didn't get credit for the other one. Every day, I pray every day, very much, wherever I go. It's a lot more. I have a lot more knowledge now. I don't have to just accept this one kind of Christianity.
100%.
I don't think that, in general, in the United States specifically, we do a good job of representing Christianity. I like it. How can we say that we're a Christian and then not be any of those things that we're supposed to be? We're supposed to be loving. We're supposed to be gentle. We're supposed to be kind. We're supposed to be humble. And then, it was political, but it'll be all right. We say the president is a Christian, or that he's a gift from God, but he's none of those things that Christians are supposed to be. Like loving. He's not kind. He's not humble. He's not gentle. He's not compassionate. How can you say that's a gift from God? So yes, I still very much every day practice my relationship with God. Yeah. Oh, gracious me. It has not been easy. I regularly argue and fight with God. I'm like, fuck you, dude. This is bullshit. Where were you when all this shit was happening to me? You say you love me. And I think that's part of the trouble, is a lot of times people will turn away from religion because they're like, you say this God is loving, but look at all the shit that's happening in the world. How can you say God is loving? What? You're smoking crack. But I've had to wrestle with that and deal with that and pray about it,
Yeah.
It's rough.
And you still have a relationship with your parents, you said?
Yeah, I do.
Yep.
My relationship with my father is somewhat strained sometimes, just because things will come up. I'm like, why am I still dealing with this? I'm 50 years old. What's the problem?
Yeah.
But at least now he is more acknowledging and more willing to admit his humanity and the ways that he failed. He's a pastor now. But the same thing is true of my mother. We've had lots of stuff to work through. Sometimes it was on my end because I didn't know how to do any better.
Yeah.
And I was a child. And then sometimes it was her. She has definitely grown more humility, more humble. She's grown less harsh. Her tongue was a terrible, terrible weapon, and she used it regularly when I was a child. But she learned it, It wasn't just on her. But she still did it. So yes, we've had to work through a lot too.
A lot of growth.
But we talk to each other every week. I was just messaging her before I came, saying I get to go do this interview. Yeah. And she's also grown in her relationship with God too. So we can be friends. We don't always have to just be mother and son, which is better for me because there's a power difference there, As friends, we can be equals. And not always, but in general, authority has always shit on me. At the very least shit on me, if not regularly hurt me. So I'm like, let's not do that. Yeah.
It's a better dynamic for you.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Sure.
Thanks, Marcus.
Any other questions?
No, that's all.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.